Morning. I'm going to talk to you today about all the different uses of a sketchbook. So on my table, I'm going to show you examples of lots of different sketchbooks from famous artists to local artists. We're going to look at them and identify why they've used them and how they've used them, and realize the versatility of a sketchbook and how much fun it is to fill them. So let's have a little look at some of them. This is a local artist called Sue Lewington. So she was a graphic designer and she now produces these beautiful books of little sketches of different areas of Cornwall and Devon. And she's a very fast drawer, lots of drawing skills. So she's got really brilliant drawing skills. And I look at the lovely detail that she puts in her work, the amazing layouts she uses, and what bits of her subject matter, her narrative that she finds important and focuses on. So she's a really good one. Then this one is a beautiful book about the watercolour flower painter's handbook. So it's more of a book, but very much in the format of a sketchbook. So details, beautiful ideas about flowers, and lots of text, but very painterly. So gorgeous colours. Look at this beautiful watercolour, and lots of drawing details, lots of lovely little notes and text, which is more printed, which we would want to be handwritten. But it shows you that this is all about flowers, and if your passion is flowers or nature, then that's a good idea for a sketchbook. Now this one is a fascinating sketchbook. This is Wainwright's drawings, beautiful line drawings of the lakes, Lakeland, and it's just wonderful. It's all in pen, very, very fine pen. He's got a little map here. So this is his love of the mountains and the fells and the walks of this area. No colour whatsoever, just beautiful, beautiful use of the pen. Let me come down here, and this is Van Gogh's letters. So amazing. I have been on the National Museum website and seen his letters. I went to the exhibition in London, but this is really beautiful, very much like a journal or a diary. Beautiful, beautiful sketches. He wrote to his brother and his friends quite a lot, and annotated and wrote his stories. What is fascinating is that when he did his sketches and these ended up as paintings, they were very, very like his final sketches. When you've got an idea for a painting and you want to explore it, you use your sketchbook as your ideas pages and allow yourself to diddle about in it, draw in it, talk to yourself, keep annotations, try things out. Then we move on to Kurt Jackson. So Kurt Jackson, a famous local artist here, he has these beautiful sketchbooks of his painting ideas, his little scribbles that he does in situ, plein air, and then his first ideas. So talking to himself, writing down his notes, little paintings, little drawings. Fantastic sketchbook, fantastic way of working. I love this one too. So it's a little bit like the Lakeland one, The Walk and Snickle Ways of York, with 70 maps and sketches by Mark Jones. Beautiful, beautiful sketchbook. And having been up there and been on a haunted walk talk, very familiar with some of the places mentioned in the book, but lovely, lovely ideas, lots of handwriting, maps, little sketches, lovely format, more of a book format in here, but I bet that could easily make a fantastic sketchbook. So that was just to show you the versatility of a sketchbook. And what I'm going to show you next are a selection of my sketchbooks and what I filled them with. So I haven't used them in all these different ways, but I am quite versatile with my sketchbooks. And so I've got lots of different uses for them. And what message I want to send you is essentially, you don't need to just have one. You can have lots of them, and you can theme them, or you can have them as a focus point. So maybe one about holidays, one about the garden, one that you stick things in, one that you write poetry in, whatever. So you don't need one. You can be extravagant and have lots. And I'm going to show you that next. This table is covered with a broad range of books that I've filled with different subjects in them. So this first one is a teaching sketchbook. So essentially, I'm teaching about composition, I'm teaching about colour. So it's a lovely representation of all sorts of things. Sometimes it's me teaching in situ, and other times it's just me learning and teaching techniques about wax, whatever it might be. But this is a teaching sketchbook, so for me to teach how to prepare for paintings or techniques in a book. This one is a meeting sketchbook, so I often make notes in a sketchbook and scribble while I'm listening to people, doodling around. And here's some of my favourite sketchbooks. I did these while on a painting course in Japan. So visiting these beautiful locations, and then each evening I would sit and paint up the views. It was one of the most fantastic trips that I'm really looking forward to doing again. This was my lockdown sketchbook, so this means a lot to me. The first lockdown, I did lots of sketches of nature, of the hedgerows as I walked the dog every morning, and I did all these on the right side of my sketchbook, and then on the left side I would write things that were concerning me about COVID and my family and my worries. So it really is an amazing documentation of that period. I love looking back on it, and although it was a worrisome time, it was also an amazing time to watch nature change throughout that month. And here I'm going to show you one of my sketchbooks, which is possibly about 40 years old, when I was a fashion designer and a knitwear designer. So it's a training sketchbook of when I was at university, when I did my research. So these pages have been stuck in. I've often said I had a hate-hate relationship with my sketchbook and didn't like drawing in it, so I used to stick everything in. So these were research ideas on knitting and my designs. I often did finished work and stuck them in. New romantics, here we go. And more knitting ideas. And all the drawing ideas. So I was very much into life drawing and drawing beautiful figures, and still thinking about beautiful compositions in my sketchbooks. So these are just preparatory sketches before you do the actual designs. And another one from that period where it was all stuck in. So here there were no sketches, just all ideas stuck in. And just show a few more of these. So ideas where the concept was about butterflies, and then how the detail with the butterflies turned into clothing ideas. So wrapping figures around with butterfly shapes, thinking of those ideas. I'm still fascinated to this day by butterflies. Love it. So you can see all my sketchbooks and the versatility of what I've done with them, and I hope that inspires you to do the same.